Good morning, everybody. How are we doing? Sammy United People's TV. It is Thursday, the 8th of May. It is the Europa League semi-final against Bilbao at Old Trafford. We are 3-0 up. And we are 90 minutes away from the Europa League final. Is it the competition we want to be in? Nope. But can you imagine how many people it would piss off? Untold amounts of thousands. How many people it would piss off if United somehow finished 16th in the league and play Champions League football next season? Oh my God, they would be fuming. Anyway, going to run through. This is a full Bilbao preview show. Probably be here for about half an hour, 40 minutes today. Then I'm off. I'm looking forward to it as well. Anybody's going to the game tonight? What's the predictions? I'm excited to go. I've only mentioned it about 20 times. It's been a long season, man. I'm looking forward to actually just being able to hopefully enjoy a game. And bet me that. We'll run through Amorim's comments about Bruno, about Garnacho, Bruno's future. Ornstein said something on Sky Sports yesterday. Also, James Ducker in the Telegraph. Going to run through those. Run through my starting 11 prediction, all the team news, and everything in between. Let me see who's here in the mod. And remember, gang, let's get on with the show. Should be a fun one today. I mean, it really should. Josh, Carl, good morning to both of you. Alex, good morning to you as well. Steve Brooks, how you doing, buddy? Jonas, we've got Foxy, we've got Lau, we've got Harry Maldini. Top tier username, that is. Top tier. Techlon, we've got Dan Briggs. We've got John, how you doing? And we've got Kevin. And we've got Nars. I used to live with a bloke called Nars. I'm not saying you're annoying, Nars, but he was annoying at uni. Man, he was annoying. Yeah, anyway. I mean, there's only one place we're starting tonight. Today, this morning. Oh, what a shame. What a shame, Arsenal. Shame. Arsenal really are just Arsenal, aren't they? Like, it doesn't matter how loud they are. It doesn't matter how brash they are. It doesn't matter how much progress they make. They ultimately are exactly what Patrice Evra says they are. It's just Arsenal, isn't it? It's just, oh, they've done the exact same thing. Oh, they finished second, have they? Oh, they finished second again. Oh, they've got knocked out in the semi-final. It's just Arsenal. I almost pity them at this point. I swear on my life, I almost pity them. Because Arsenal fans, look, from my own personal experience of football fans, Arsenal fans are the most insufferable. I think I've explained this story to you before, going back to that lad Nars I was speaking about. When I was at uni and we beat Arsenal 8-2, still, they had energy. He had energy to come at me. Like, he had gas in the tank. And I was like, dude, you've just literally been pumped 8-2. How can you possibly have anything to come back at me with? And they did. I tell you what, like, just like Arteta's comments, I don't care. This is a United show. This has to be spoken about. I like speaking about football that happens around United for the first 5 minutes of the show. If anybody's new, well, this is what it is. Arteta's comments there, you're looking at it going, oh, man, if I was an Arsenal fan, I'd be pissed. You know, that kind of feels like a little bit, and maybe this is an unfair comparison, but Ten Hag towards the end, for a majority of United fans, hearing him speak about the cups and the trophies that we won was something that really, really grated people, because he wasn't really speaking about the football that you're seeing in front of yourself. Like, PSG just pounded them. PSG were just totally dominant. But Arteta's out there going, the best team lost. You're thinking, I imagine there's going to be a full-on meltdown from Arsenal fans now. I imagine you're going to get the Arteta out banners, all that jazz. And it's such a shame. Anybody see Cheeto on Instagram last night? Man, you got to love that kid. He really, really doesn't like Arsenal. He really doesn't like Arsenal. I don't know what it is and what happened between Cheeto and Arsenal when it comes to the contract negotiations that were going on, and the fact that he decided to up sticks, pull a youth Van Persie, and then join United. But he does not like them. He really, really... I I am very much looking forward to the time in a year or two, or whenever it's going to be, where Cheeto plays against Arsenal at the Emirates and ideally scores. Ideally. Because I don't know what celebration he would whip out. This is exactly the sort of thing you want as a United fan. Like, that's what football is, man. Football's about rivalry, about ribbing people, about getting one up. It's part and parcel of what being a fan is. It's the fun part of being a fan when you're winning the argument, and it's a crap part of being a fan when you've got nothing to say. But Cheeto, at some point, I hope he scores against Arsenal at the Emirates, because I want to see that, because he very much enjoyed it. Anyway, it's just Arsenal being Arsenal. It's hilarious. And it's every single year. As Evra said, Arsenal on Netflix. Samir saying Arteta to Enrique is like that Fast and Furious scene when Paul Walker told Vin Diesel that he... Man, I said, you know what? Bit of a random segue here. It still staggers me that the Fast and Furious franchise became like $1 billion franchise. I remember watching the first one when it came out. Showing my age here. But that was when Need for Speed Underground was just released. I killed that game. I played that game so much. Having Fast and Furious and Need for Speed Underground as the biggest film at the time and the best game at the time was a combo. And the soundtrack was wicked as well. I remember those Dilated Peoples on that soundtrack. And then Need for Speed Underground 2. The last one I remember watching Fast and Furious was Tokyo Drift. I haven't really watched any since. Bit random, I know. Well, anyway, let's move on and let's speak about something a little bit different before we go into the full Bilbao preview. Finn, Academy Scoop, confirming here yesterday that Mantato has signed his first professional contract, and he also had an exclusive photo. Fair play to him. Fair play to Finn. He's definitely got his sources inside the club and inside the academy. But Mantato has signed his first professional contract, and that's exciting. It's really exciting. I've already explained in that right wing-back video that I did that Mantato is probably the closest player to Giovanni Kenda that Amorim has in the academy, in the fact that he's got an exciting, athletic right winger by nature who could, in theory, be converted into a right wing back. Mantato actually went into the squad. He was called up to the B squad. He was registered, so he could have played last week in San Mamés, but he didn't. He actually was down on the squad list as a forward. So maybe right now he's being seen as a winger. But in the future, next season you could conceivably see Ahmad as United's starting right wing back and Mantato as an alternative. He's definitely one to watch in pre-season. There's going to be a few youngsters that I really am looking forward to watching in pre-season. Mantato is one of them. So congratulations to him for signing his first professional contract. And it's good news for United. La Carrington. Hey, look, there's some cracking players coming through, and it's about managing them. I actually think Amorim's done that quite well this year. I know there's people that are annoyed that Amorim didn't play more kids earlier. But I think you saw why in that game against Brentford. He did play the kids. Made 8 changes. United lost 4-3. The kids got physically out-muscled. I don't know whether I'm not here saying that Mantato is going to be United's Kenda and he's going to have that same trajectory. But from a profile perspective inside our academy, there is potential for him as a right wing back option. Now that will have to be coached, etc., and that's going to be up to Ruben Amorim. But he's definitely one to watch. Now, we've had a lot of conversation this week about Bruno and the Saudi links. And I've called it all Saudi noise because that's exactly what it has been, just noise. And I'm going to run through now comments from Amorim, comments from David Ornstein and The Telegraph, and bring you up to date of what's happened. Well, not really what's happened, but what's been said on Bruno. And this is what Amorim has had to say about Bruno and the links to Saudi.
We want Bruno here. He's a top player. We need the top players. He's a leader. He's the captain. So he's really important. It's normal that there's a lot of clubs that want a player like Bruno, like Garnacho, like others. But we want to keep the best players. And Bruno is clearly one of the top players in the world. So our idea didn't change. We want Bruno here.
So that's Ruben Amorim making it clear that United have got no intention of selling Bruno Fernandez. I know, bombshell news, but it's good to hear it actually coming out of Ruben Amorim's mouth. And this is what David Ornstein said on Sky Sports yesterday as well, when he was speaking about it.
And the soundings we're getting from these...
He's got the volumes wrong. He does it every day.
Reports are that Bruno Fernandez is not interested in the move as things stand. Now, we don't know if that will change with the sort of numbers that might be proposed, and they will become eye-watering, I'm sure, if they really want to go for Bruno Fernandez. But if he wants to stay and continue his career in Europe, and Manchester United genuinely have no intent in cashing in on him regardless of their financial situation, then...
So Ornstein there saying that United, again, reiterating what Ruben Amorim has just said there, that United have got no intention of cashing in. But United aren't looking at Bruno as a cash cow. You know something I realised this morning on the pod? Okay. Maybe these stories put even more importance on the Europa League. Because I think if United win the Europa League, it's going to be very easy to ignore any offers that exist around Bruno Fernandez. But if we don't win the Europa League, I guarantee the club will see that as slightly more tempting. James Ducker from the Telegraph, sort of following up on the noise that's being said here. Nothing's been put through, and it's all about could and prepared, but basically saying the exact same thing, that Bruno Fernandez is going to be offered $1 million a week. Yeah, Volpez, the podcast has always been on Spotify. Podcast is on every sort of platform. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. You can listen to it anyway. £1 million a week is such nutty money, man. It's like 4 to 5 times what he's on at United, and he's already one of United's top earners. He's already earning a great amount of money. Look, Alex, yeah, of course, every player is a sellable asset at Manchester United, but I'm just saying I worry about the importance of the Europa League even more now that the Saudi noise is clearly quite there at United. And of course, and I think that's really important to say that as well. None of this noise means anything if Bruno goes and knocks on the door of Amorim and says, I don't care, man. I don't care about that money. I don't want to move to Saudi. Players cannot be moved to clubs or to countries that they don't want to join. We've seen at United the Maguire situation previously. I don't know why this one's jumped to my head. But United agreed a deal with West Ham, price-wise. And Maguire turned around and said, well, I'll go if you pay me off the difference in the contract that you owe me, because my wages will be less at West Ham than they would be here. So unless you do that, I'm not moving. And United didn't do that, and Maguire didn't move. And obviously turned it around at United since. But if Bruno wants to stay, and all the noise has been that Bruno wants to stay at United. And I think we mentioned this earlier, and we can wrap this Bruno conversation up in a second, then we'll move on to Bilbao. DP, of course the pay is tempting for anyone. What you're looking at there is sort of multi-generational family wealth. Like if Bruno Fernandez was to go there and earn that amount of money for, realistically, let's call it I don't know how long he'd be there for, call it 4 years. You're not setting yourself up. You're not setting your kids up. You're setting your kids' kids and your kids' kids' kids. You're setting your whole family name up for hundreds of years, probably. That's how much money that is. But I don't really think Bruno cares about money. I mean, who am I kidding? Dude's on 200 odd grand a week. I always think that. Do you ever I know it's impossible for us because we're just all regular folks. But sure, I think it's all about the lifestyle, right? Once you keep going up and up and up, and then your lifestyle gets more and more expensive, so it's all kind of relative to how much you earn. But surely it reaches a point where how much you earn, you go, I don't actually need any more. Even if I went from 200 grand a week to $1 million a week, look, what the fuck am I spending that on? You can't really, you just got to save it. Klein, you've been a legend this week. Alex, you've said this 6 times in the comments. I'm going to bring it back now. Seeing as it is it's not European Cup semi-final, but it's Europa League semi-final. Klein's gifted 10. And Gagshi's back, literally on cue. That was fate. That was fate. I didn't even see you there. Just saluted with the gong now. Legends. I'll tell you what, look at that. We are 473 subs away from 500,000. You know how nuts that is? 500,000 here on United People's TV. That's quite an achievement, man. That's seriously an achievement. I was half tempted to do a live show at the ground, but I thought it would be really weird and all beggy. It would be very beggy if I'm sitting at 200 subs away and I'm like, can 200 people please subscribe? I'll bring back the gongs once we're in the new studio. It's all part and parcel of it. Let me see what you're saying about Bruno, and then we'll wrap up this and we'll talk about Bilbao. Bruno will be a good manager one day. Bruno would be a taskmaster, man. Imagine Bruno trying to train you. You're like, boss, no. Do it again. Bleep test. Now. You. Run. Run suicides. Go. Shut up. Run. Bruno's team would be the fittest team in the league, surely. Sausage. 10 out of 10. Can we just have a little... What a username. Everyone likes sausage. Food-wise. Not in that sense. But if you are that way inclined, that's fine. 200k will be taxed. Either way, look. Bruno, clearly the noise is there. Clearly Al Hilal are interested. At this time, there's not an official bid. I think they're still trying to figure out, is it worth our time putting the bid in? Does Bruno actually want to move? And everything right now suggests that Bruno is not interested in that move. That'll be fun. It'll be awesome if we were to break 500k today. So if you can, make sure you subscribe. But we've got to get 400. Share it around. We need 472 by the time that the Bilbao game finishes. I don't think that's going to be possible. But if you can, try and make it happen. And then my match reaction from there tonight will be the 500k celebration. That'll be fun. Let's speak about it now. Let me have a look at the poll, right? Straight away. 3% of you need to be shot. 850 votes are in. 97% are saying that United go through, and 3% are saying Bilbao go through. Man, if Bilbao go through tonight, you might actually see me cry. I probably wouldn't. I might do. No, I wouldn't. But United against Bilbao tonight, right? What you're thinking, what your thoughts, let me know in the comments. Let's run through some of Amorim's comments ahead of the game, my starting 11. Let's have a chat. Ruben made one thing really clear in his press conference yesterday. We need to go to the game and try to win. Tonight is not a game where United are going to go into it. Like, for example, how we played away at Liverpool this season. We went into that game specifically to play a 5-4-1. A deep line block, hit on the counter-attack. And it worked. Like, United scored our first goals at Anfield in years. United could have won. We didn't quite win. But United tonight, that is not the way to approach it. That is absolutely not the way to approach the game. And I don't think United will approach it like that. Tonight is all about getting that early goal, man, right? Amorim was speaking about the game, saying he's gone back and goes, look, I watched the game back. There's not too much point in me watching a game back when it's 11 against 10, but when it was 11 on 11, they were intense, but United, their opportunities, a lot of them were kind of our mistakes, our own fault, misplaced passes. Ugarte, remember losing the ball quite a few times in his own half and inviting pressure onto his team. Tonight is about that first goal. Tonight is about ending the tie. I reckon, as a percentage, right? Bilbao, the fans, the players, they know they're likely out tonight. But, stranger things really have happened in football. So they've probably given themselves 5% chance. There's a little 5% chance that we might win tonight. Even without Inaki Williams, even without Nico Williams, even without Sanchez, and even without their best centre-back as well, even without all of those players, it's still a 5% chance. And there's a little opportunity if we just get an early goal. And if they get that early goal, that 5% becomes 20%. And all of a sudden, the team goes, whoa, there's a chance here. Sod that, man. Come out swinging. I am desperate, and I say this so often, but I'll keep repeating it until it becomes the habit of United again. Scoring in the first 20 minutes at Old Trafford. If you do that, Old Trafford just becomes this cauldron that there's so many players that are going to be, so many Bilbao players tonight that are going to be buzzing, going, Mum, I don't know, I might be mentioning phoning their mum, I can't wait to play at Old Trafford. It's a childhood dream. They're more excited about the idea of playing at Old Trafford rather than scared for the fact that they could get pumped. Yep, Leon scored 4 against us at Old Trafford. We were 2-0 up in that game. Whack. Get the early goal. Daz, I don't know whether United players are going to panic tonight. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. How are you all feeling going into the game? That's what I'll ask the chat. I know that there's going to be that voice at the back of your mind that's a bit nervous, but truth be told, and I don't mean this in a complacent way, I'm confident going into this game tonight. And I think I'm allowed to have that confidence. It's not arrogance. It's like you have to find that blend between confidence and arrogance, right? I'm confident that United will get the job done tonight. I think we might concede. My prediction for the game, which I gave in my preview, was 3-1. But I think United will win. Hydro, you're shitting it? Yeah, of course you are. The final's in Bilbao. Look, if the final being in Bilbao was going to be energy for them, it would have been when they were playing in their stadium. But no. We were 1-0 up. Red card changed it. Boom. We turn the screw. Luke, you're saying if we can't be confident at 3-0 up, it's not just the fact that we're 3-0 up. It's the fact that we did that away from home. Yeah, sure, it was against 10 men, but we still controlled that game. And, hey, look, let's find out. I'll know after 15 minutes whether that confidence is misplaced or not. We'll all know within the first 15 minutes, we're watching like shaky back passes and really slow tempo, and you're thinking, all right, okay, United are going to play like this tonight. Excited and nervous, I think, is a fair way to describe it. I know it's not going to happen, right? I'm very aware it's not going to happen. But I would just love United to get a goal within the first 20 and then just humiliate Bilbao. Beat them like 4-5-0 in the night. I'll give them 1 goal consolation. They can have that. Like beating Roma 7-1. Beat them 7-1 on aggregate. 4-1 tonight. Just pump them. Send them home crying. I want to see some Bilbao kids in the crowd crying. That's what I want to see tonight. Not in a weird way, but that's what I want to see. All right. And I'm confident about it. And I think the players should be as well. A confident United team plays very differently to a nervous, worried United team. It's all about the confidence and how you project yourself. Find that balance between confidence and arrogance, and it's an asset. I think so anyway. 2-1 pragmatic game nailed on, says Volpez. The logical part of me will probably say that's right. Sam's on dark mode this morning. I don't know. I'm just excited to go and watch a footy game. It's been a while. You're putting a 5 on Rasmus to score 2 or more, says Dan. Gonna win some monies. Sam woke up and chose violence. Yeah, I've gone peak Cersei. Damn it. Every time I think about Game of Thrones, it pisses me off. Hope the Tifo says, welcome to hell on it. I don't really know what I wanted to say. I saw someone on Twitter yesterday, but I can't even take credit for this. Saying that it should say, never invite the devils to hell. Because remember what their one last week said? It said, welcome to hell. I think that could be, I'll be like, just a quiet round of applause for that one. Never invite the devils to hell. And just a picture of Bruno's celebration, like, that would piss them off. That would really piss them off. Mania, good morning to you. Gifting 10 memberships as well. Everybody, the salutes are all coming out today. Jonathan, I am in the prawn sandwich brigade tonight because it's kind of a consequence of all the work that I've been doing this season with the lads. So I'm actually being able to take 2 or 3 guys from the team as well. So it's not only an opportunity for me. It'll be sad because I kind of want to sit in where my season ticket is because I haven't been able to use it. But yeah, I'm looking forward to watching it with a few lads for the team because everyone's been putting in good work behind the scenes. We might have been crap as a football club, but as a United People's TV team, everyone's done a really good job. So tonight we can hopefully be able to celebrate it. I will record a post-match. I'm not sure how or where. It's always a difficulty going to games. You don't have a studio to do it in. Can't just like pop into Sky Sports, borrow their studio. What else we got? I think this is a fair comment, right? I think this is a fair comment. Amorim's not sort of pulling any punches. There's no pretending that winning the Europa League makes this a good season. And it really will go down as one of the most hilarious things in the world. If in the last 2 years, Man United finished in 8th place, but we won the FA Cup. So we got a backdoor entrance to the Europa League. And then the following season, United might finish 16th in the league and win the Europa League and play Champions League football next season. We have been put as a football club. Yet still we're there or thereabouts and we're in the it's the 8th of May and our season's not over yet. Now that's a good thing. But I can't wait for the season to be over. My God. My God. Anyway. I hope these 2 start tonight. I really, really hope these 2 start tonight. Let me see what you're saying in the comments. Sam, why don't you and the team invite fans over to the games every now and then? We'll make the community bigger over time. Jonathan, this is all part and parcel of why I'm really working hard to bring in a community leader. I need somebody to commit lots of time every month to running the community behind the scenes in Discord, organising meetups for United People's TV supporters for home games, organising meetups in different locations around the world, enabling everyone to do that, organising the live show so we can actually meet up and all watch a game together. All these things can happen, but they can't happen until I get a community leader in. It's been a big problem for a good long time, and now is the time where I'm actually really, really trying to get one in, because they're going to be spenny, but I think money well spent. Simon is saying, I agree with all Amorim has said, but the bank we get winning this in the Champions League for next season is mega for financing and attracting the players he wants. I think if we win Europa, Gyökeres is a conversation. I genuinely think it is. I think if we win Europa, then he will probably want to come to United. What does everyone predict for the Bodo Spurs game tonight, by the way? Obviously, Spurs are 3-1 up, but they're going to play in the Arctic Circle on a pitch that's artificial in a stadium that holds like 8,000 supporters. I think Spurs have got like 400 tickets for the game tonight. Dan, you said, no, I absolutely would not prefer Spurs in the final, man. Despite how crap they've been, they've still had our number. Somehow. And that was the only other game I managed to go to this season. Spurs in the League Cup at the Spurs Stadium. That was one where Son ended up scoring direct from a bloody free kick. I personally think the Spurs will go through. But I think it'll be, I don't know. I think they'll just about sneak it. Mr. Smith, I know it's a nice idea, but you'd never catch me doing that in a million years. Need to see Sam in a United shirt with 500k subs on the back. Do you imagine that? I'd get booed I'd boo myself out of Old Trafford if I did that. Nice idea, though. Tie isn't over. Early Bodo goal, and that's interesting. Well, it depends if you get any signal in Old Trafford. You maybe catch up on the game at half-time. I definitely want Bodo. I mean, it won't be an easy game because it'll be a European final, but I'd just rather not play Spurs. Yeah, I know, no Madison. Anyway, these two lads. I hope we just get the strongest team out tonight, and that strongest team involves Ahmad. It involves Bruno, and I'll run through the starting 11 in a little bit. And I'll tell you what, I think this deserves to be spoken about. Garnacho was in the press conference yesterday, sat there alongside Ruben Amorim. And I said this, and I stand by what I said. I think the fact that Garnacho was there alongside Amorim, there was some mad comments on that from people genuinely asking, does the manager choose who sits next to him in the press conference? And I'm thinking, are you for real asking that? Are you suggesting like the idea that going into a press conference before a Europa League semi-final, that there'll be somebody from the Europa League that goes, oh, actually, we want Garnacho to sit alongside you? It's just really funny, the idea that some people genuinely were confused as to whether or not Amorim chose who that is. But anyway, fair play to Garnacho, man. I think the fact that he was chosen to sit alongside Amorim is a real indicator that he's earned Amorim's trust. A couple of months ago, and he actually said it, he was speaking about it. A couple of months ago, it was difficult for me. Right? Difficult for me. But I think he's like started 12, 13 games in a row. I think so. Super Archie saying, I'd rather we not start Ahmad tonight. Don't want another Delict mistake. No, man. Start Ahmad, take him off after 45 and we're 1 or 2-0 up. Bang, done. Get the game done early. Don't want Ahmad coming on if we... The worst thing we can do tonight is try and be conservative and take it easy, and then United go 2-0 down, and in the 60th minute we've got to bring Ahmad on and we've got to chase a game that we don't have to chase. I think Garnacho deserves credit for how he's carried himself in his last couple of months. Look, the output hasn't been completely there. He keeps putting himself in certain positions. The decision-making's not quite there yet. And I suppose it wouldn't be as a 20-year-old. Not completely. But credit to him, man. And do you want to know an absolutely mad stat? This one surprised me. Look, if there's one thing we've been crap at all season, and I know there's a lot you can choose from here, but what's the thing that we've been the worst at all season? Answers in the chat. And then I'll show you this stat. Big Mavinsky is saying that Garnacho is looking more confident. That can only be a good thing. If we keep Garnacho, he should get the 7. I still stand by what I say, that it strikes me that Garnacho could be the big sale this summer to fund what United are doing. It's just kind of what I think. Set pieces, said Ibuka. Well, we have been crap at set pieces, but Ryan, you got it bang on there. Scoring goals, we've been awful, which makes this stat hilarious. Manchester United have scored 31 goals in this season Europa League, more than any other team, and only in 2002 and 2020 have they ever scored more in a single campaign in a major European competition. So if United, between now and say we get through tonight, and say we get to the final, if we score 4 more goals, it is our highest ever goal-scoring season in a European competition ever. I had to do a double take on that. I was like, what? That's mad. That really is mad. We have been a different beast in the Europa League this season. Of course, it's not the Champions League. And I don't know which one. 2020, 21? 2002-3, that must have been the Champions League. Was that the year with Ronaldo when he knocked us out? Can't remember. 31 goals now. Either way, 4 more goals, and it's our highest ever goal-scoring campaign in a European competition. Then next season, we can go out and score 40 in the Champions League en route to winning it. Lovely jubbly. Ideally, or not ideally, but just to complete the sort of the shithousery hat-trick. Last season, finished 8th, but won the FA Cup, so we got into the Europa League. This season, maybe finish 16th, but win the Europa League, so we get into the Champions League. Next season, finish 9th, 11th. I said 11th in the pod this morning. I'm going to increase it to 9th. Finish 9th, but win the Champions League. That's like the hat trick of things that is going to annoy people. Anyway, 4 more goals in Europe, and it's the highest ever goal-scoring campaign in a European competition. Now, this was my team for tonight. What changes are you making, if any? Obviously, you're not going to make any because my team's perfect, and I never get anything wrong. James is saying, would you put Bruno on the bench tonight to save any risk? Nah, man. Start Bruno. Start our strongest team possible. For 45 minutes, try and blitz the game, get a couple of goals on the score sheet, and then make all the subs. Make all the subs. That's what I want to see. Let me see if there's any super chats down here. Don't want to have missed any. And then I'm going to... What changes would you like me to make? Christos saying, Sam, hotel football have live music before the game. I remember when hotel football opened. Back in there. It was still good in there. It got a little bit weird. I don't know whether weird's the right way to describe it. Well, it wasn't the best place to go. Big Maui saying, proof the quality is there, just poor consistency. I'm not sure whether you're talking about goal scoring or just overall. And you're not starting Ahmed? Well, I am. I'm definitely starting him. If he's good enough to play 45 minutes off the bench against Brentford, then I think he's good enough to start 45 minutes tonight. And I'm taking him off on half-time, by the way. I'm taking him off at half-time. Like, no matter what happens in the first half, I'm taking Ahmad off. Even if we're 1-0 up, 2-0 up, 3-0 up, or 1-0 or 2-0 down. You're probably not going to take Ahmad off if you're 2-0 down, are you? What do you reckon our strongest back five is? I think you could conceivably... I don't know if Mazraoui's fit to start. He trained. Euro should be fit. Sure. I don't know whether I'm being harsh here. I don't know whether I was expecting more. Is anyone else a little bit underwhelmed at Shaw's return? I don't know. Maybe it's unfair of me to expect that Luke Shaw, after 900 months of not playing football, for him to come back in at the same sort of levels that I saw that I remembered him for. But it just feels like he's been a little bit underwhelming. I don't know whether I'm being unfair. Someone down there saying I want to see Amas again. Don't think you'll see him from the start in this game. You might see him off the bench. Depends on what goes on. Well, you know full well that Shaw's got to leave in the summer. He's not match fit yet. He's bang on for someone who's not played in such a long time. I think Mason Mount's been quietly doing okay, but he's had like 7 appearances now from the bench. Something like that. He scored a goal at Brentford, but I wouldn't say Mount has been pulling up trees. And unfortunately for Mount, he's kind of got to do that now. Right, after all the injuries and everything that's happened, Mount, you're going to have to really, like, I suppose he's just going to end up being a squad player, like a 50, 60 million pound squad player. Start the same 11 that started the away leg, someone says in the comments there. Who started the away leg? Was it Dorgu at right wing back and Mazraoui left wing back? I can't remember. I'm starting Dorgu and Ahmad, though. Let me see what you're saying on the poll, though, right, before we wrap up today. 1,300 votes, and 97% of you are saying United go through, and 3% are saying Bilbao. So 3% you're banned from the channel now. Now, I want to ask you one quick thing about Kobbie Mainoo. Now, if there's one thing... If there's one thing you think that he needs to sort of improve, what do you think it is? Do you think it's... We can't really... Can you improve your pace? I suppose you can slightly work on it. Can you improve your physicality, your strength? Like, what would you say there's something that you feel that Mainoo needs to add to his game? Or just add to himself? I'm curious there, because I want to show you a photo, which took me by surprise. Shaw just trying to get back for the final, just like England. Well, Shaw is rusty, but I think he's doing okay. I'm fully underwhelmed by Mount. People are talking about pace. Someone's talking about aggression. Now, Wahib, you've got it down there, so thank you very... I'm glad that someone said it, otherwise it would have been a strange question. Wahib has said physicality. I want to quickly show you this. Look at that for a difference for Kobbie. He has been putting the work in, right? He has been putting the strength work in. Kobbie's had another frustrating season of injuries, man. Remember when he came back from the Euros and then this one, it took me by surprise. I'm like, fair play, man. He's been working on that. Because I see that being used by I don't know whether they're just United fans or not, suggesting that he's weak and the physical and he nah, man. I still see Cobby in the future of this United team being one of the two number 10s. I know technically he can play deeper, but I don't see it. I don't see it being his long term. Either way, fair play. Fingers crossed that he can stay fit, have a full preseason, as someone's saying down there in the comments. But tonight, Matthew, I'm going to be Sam. Tonight's going to be a good one. I've told you I'm confident. And I think you have every right to be confident. Russell, you're saying bulking up doesn't necessarily benefit you. I mean, Lukaku was the prime example of over bulking, but Mainu did need to be. I think bulking up a little bit will help him, and I think he's done well there. Tonight's going to be a cracker. I'm looking forward to it. I'm confident. I'm going for a 3-1 United win, and I want us to come out steaming. I want us to come out at not a million miles an hour, but, in the same way that Bilbao played against us for the first 15 minutes, and they forced mistakes. They forced Ugarte into losing possession 3 or 4 times. They couldn't take advantage of it. They missed their opportunities, but they forced it. That's what United need to do against Bilbao and get the early goal. A goal within the first 20, you pop Bilbao's balloon. If there's a 5% chance they think that they can go through, score early, nah, man. You're going to take any wind out of their sails, and then it should just be a training ground exercise for United. That's what I want to see. 3-1 prediction, 6-1 on aggregate. Come on. Let's go. Thank you all for tuning in, as always. I'm going to get ready. Get on my journey. Hey, look, if you see me at Old Trafford tonight, you're always welcome to come over and say hi. I'm looking forward to watching it. Match reaction, don't know where I'll be or when it'll be out, but I'll put it out as soon as I can. And yeah, fingers crossed the next time we have a chat, maybe if I do like an impromptu live, it won't be impromptu. I was thinking about this because this is the thing, right? The studio here is this. I've got everything set up for this live show. But if maybe I do a live show tomorrow morning, it might be a little bit more basic. If I can do one, I will. But I might be hungover, depending on what the result is. All right? Thank you, everyone. Much love. And how far are we away? We are 459 subs away from 500,000. That's awesome. And by the way, prawn sandwiches, grim. Whoever came up with the idea of, don't mind certain, but prawn sandwich? Nasty. Take it easy, everyone.